So we're going to be talking about another vlogger. Her name is Ari, and I believe she goes by um, All In with Ari. And she is new, like less than a month old. Her channel, or maybe a month old now. Very new. I think her channel was made back in March, but her videos, the videos that she is putting out there, are about a month old, maybe a little less than a month. And I came across her videos by mistake. Maybe it wasn't by mistake. When I was still watching my Leticia videos. And um, it came across my feed. And I know that some other creators are doing videos on Ari. They are calling her out as a scammer. And I have to say, I have only watched a little bit of a few creators that have called her out. Just little tidbits here and there, scrolling through because I wanted to watch her videos, and I'm still trying to watch Leticia's because I said in my last video that some things have came to light, some new information about Leticia, and about her past. Um, And I'm just going to go over just a little bit with Leticia. I'm kind of intertwining these two, and I'm going to get to why I'm doing that. Um, I have to give credit to Original Al, and there's another creator. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I cannot think of the name. I watched a few of their videos, just, a little bit through. And I know I'm going to say the name wrong. Oh my gosh. Something Bear. But, anyways, um, I just watched a little bit of their videos, and they are spot on when it comes to Leticia. Uh, and I know a few people made comments, in my, under my, or in my comment section, I'm sorry, about the Original Al, and that's how I found the other channel. And I went and I listened to a little bit of her channel, and they're doing commentary on Leticia's videos, and they're pointing things out, and that's exactly what I have seen when I've watched her videos, and my thoughts as well. So they're spot on, in my opinion, on a lot of things that they're pointing out. But it's really hard with Leticia because she puts out so many videos every single day. But one of the, on the other channel, and for the life of me, I know I'm going to say the name wrong. So I will talk about, and I want to give her the credit because Leticia's sister called into this creator, and that's why I said that there was more that came to light about Leticia, and it was with this other creator. But anyways, when I do another video on Leticia, I will give the credit and talk about this creator and give the credit where it's due. But the sister of Leticia, the only sister, she has claimed that yes, they had issues, when they were children, and the sister is an older sister and only sister of Leticia. But and the brother that Leticia talks about, that that lives with her mom, that has a lot of issues. She does say yes, he does. He has a lot of issues, and she doesn't, really go into everything. Um, but she does say that all the things that Leticia said that happened to her with her father and her brother and stuff is not Leticia's story. It's her story. So the abuse happened, but it happened to her, the sister, not Leticia. But here's the thing. The sister left, right? She left the home and left Leticia behind. So we don't know. We don't know if the abuse continued. It was sexual abuse and, physical abuse. We don't know if this abuse happened, because a lot of times when there is sexual abuse in the family, and it's happening to one child and that child moves out of the home, a lot of times they will do it to another child in the home, right? That happens a lot. So we don't know if it continued to, if it started happening to Leticia. But we do know from what the sister is saying, and it sounds like she's being truthful, that the story that a lot of the things that Leticia is saying happened to her growing up actually happened to the sister. And so there was a lot of dysfunction in that family. And that the mother kind of just let it happen and didn't do anything about it. So I did say before in my videos that, we don't know the family dynamics here and what could have caused Leticia to be the way she was. Was there a lot of different things happening in the family when she was growing up? Could something have happened when she was a young adult? Or does she just have, chemical imbalances? Could it be a combination of everything? We just don't know. But it seems like her sister, is doing well. She does say she has, I think 10 children. But, she says that she's doing well in life. Again, here, we don't know these people personally. We don't. We don't know who's telling the truth and who's not. But she has said that Leticia has a lot of issues and has always caused a lot of problems. But this video is not going to be about Leticia. I just wanted to put that out there. We want to talk about Ari. And the reason why I brought Leticia up in it is there's these two vloggers that are talking about their life, and they're talking about being homeless. And Ari, she made a comment in one of her videos that really stuck out in my head. And I'm wondering if she got the idea of being a vlogger and coming to YouTube to try to be, quote, successful, if maybe she was watching some of Leticia's videos. Could have been other people too, because this seems to be a thing. But if she was watching Leticia, I wouldn't say Leticia is being successful, but she started getting a lot of subscribers. I mean, she's up to, I think, almost 6,000. That's not a lot compared to Ari. Ari's like up there to about 80,000 now, but I don't know if she thought she was gonna like blow up like that that quickly. But she did make a comment in one of her videos that she is, and I'm not quoting it word for word, but she did say that she has been watching you know, other homeless people, their videos or their stories. She said that in, I don't know if it was her first or second video, and it inspired her. So it just clicked in my head, because Leticia, she's been on YouTube doing videos for a little while now, being homeless, right? She's been homeless for a couple of years, but she's been on YouTube for a while. But until she started getting a little out there and making these claims on this Jason, and getting really vile and nasty, and, you know, being pregnant. She wasn't getting the subs, and now she is, and now she's monetized, and she's getting the donations, and she's getting people to feel sorry for her, and now it's an income for her. Now she's probably not getting a lot when it comes to, you know, because she's monetized and from YouTube itself, but she is getting a lot of donations. If you look, when she's doing her live streams, there's a lot of people that are donating to her, that believe her for whatever reason. I mean, she clearly is higher than a kite in a lot of her videos. She's ready to give birth at any time. And you have a lot of people that are donating like crazy now, because they want her to be in a hotel, motel, whatever, because it's hot. She's heavily pregnant, and they want her to eat right. But they really want her in a motel, because she is really laying it on thick right now about giving birth to this baby in a vehicle. She's refusing to go to the hospital because there's a warrant out for her arrest. So they are really sending in those cash apps, PayPal, whatever, mainly cash apps, so she can get the money right away. And she has been staying in some motels, but they are really pushing those donations. So here we have Ari that says that she's been homeless for 7 months. But all of a sudden, you know, in those 7 months, she doesn't make a channel. She doesn't decide to go on YouTube. But all of a sudden she does. She just, out of the blue, you know, in a 7 months, she's been out there, homeless, living in her vehicle, and she decides to go on YouTube. That sounds, you know, kind of fishy to me. But she did say that she was, you know, like I said, watching other homeless people's story videos. Like I said, don't quote me word for word. So I am wondering if there is a connection, if she has been watching Leticia. She might not have. I'm sure there's other people that are out there making videos of living in vehicles, being homeless. But there is, I'm going to talk about some similarities between the two. There's a lot of differences too. You can absolutely tell. But we're going to talk about, there's a lot that are similar between the two of these vloggers, these women. We're going to talk about that. Now, before I do that, I know a lot of the creators, you know, they are pulling up and they're doing commentary with the videos on Ari or Leticia and stuff like that. And that's just something that I'm not going to be doing. You'll just be looking at scenes and listening to me talk, because you can go watch their videos. I just don't stream or do commentary or whatever. I might in the future at some time, but I just don't do that. That's just not how I do things. But anyways, she, like I said, I already said it. I find it really strange that she just, out of the blue, after 7 months, decides to make her first video, right? Instead of doing it right away. And um, she went viral. I find that also kind of strange. Now, people can go viral, um, and get a lot of subs, a lot of, people are really feeling bad for her. Um, but, let's talk about the similar things that her and Leticia have. And like I said, she could be watching other people too. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are doing videos on, being homeless, living in their vehicle. I don't know. I just haven't came across them yet. And they're getting money, donations from people, like both of these vloggers are doing. But Ari is really, I mean, blew up like overnight. Okay. And a lot, she has been called out as being a scammer. We're going to go over the similarities, and then I'm going to talk about some other things on is she a scammer, people digging in, to her real life. Is that okay? Is it not okay? Because a lot of people have called her out on different things of her past. So the things that I found really bizarre about the two, okay, for one, they're both homeless, but they both have a vehicle that they're living in. They both have phones that they can, get on YouTube. They both have a channel, okay? They both are vegan, all right? Both of them talk about vegan. When they do their videos, they are eating. They do a lot of that, eating when they do their videos. They both talk about God quite often. I noticed that. They both, it has been proven, one talks about it, it's been proven that they both have mental health issues and in and out of hospitals. Both of them talk about suicide attempts. Okay? Let's see, what else? They both come out and talk about abusive families. Okay? Their immediate family, how it's how rough they had it, in childhood and also, adulthood. Okay. Now, I have listened to quite a few of Ari's videos, but I haven't got through all of hers. And like with Leticia, I can't even get through all of hers because, like I said, she makes so many every day. And a lot of it is just, it's just the same thing over and over and over again. Okay. And I'm still listening to some of Ari's. They both, even though Ari hasn't mentioned it until recently, she didn't put it out there that she has a child that she does not have custody of, that there was an issue, that her ex has custody of this child. This child is about the same age, give or take a year. It's about a year difference than Leticia's child. And Leticia also has a child that her ex has custody of. And some issues happened with her child as well. And the children are around the same age. Like I said, give or take a year. Okay? Neither one of these women have custody of their child. And it looks like neither one of them see their child. Okay? And there was issues of some sort of abuse with the child that allowed the exes to be able to gain sole custody. Even though some of the circumstances are a little bit different, I just find that a little bizarre. So you have some similarities there, okay? But there's a lot of differences, okay? The age, they're both in their 30s, okay? Leticia is a little older. You have Ari that, the other thing that's similar too, they both talk about working out and going to the gym. They both show a lot too on, what they do in their vehicle, how they make it, do their bed. Maybe that's the thing when people, do the van life, or when they're homeless or whatever, and they're putting it out on social media. I don't know. This is all new to me, so I don't know. I'm just talking about these two vloggers. But they talk about going to the gym. And the things that are different that I've noticed is Leticia, she puts out a lot more of her personal business, and she's very foul-mouthed, okay? Unlike Ari, who gives that peace and love vibe going, okay? Now, I don't know if she watched Leticia and thought, hey, I want to do a channel, or watched maybe another person that said they were homeless and seen them getting, donations or whatever, and said, hey, let me see if I can take a go at this. But I think if she would, and seen all the hate comments and stuff like that, she's like, I'm not going to be, the foul-mouthed person. I'm going to take that in a different direction to get more viewers. But being homeless and, being a single woman, they also talk about being abused, okay, by men. Again, we don't know. We don't know if they were or not. Now, I'm sorry, but Leticia, in my opinion, is absolutely lying about her encounter. The proof to me is already out there with the text messages between her and the person she's accusing, and that's why there's a warrant out for her arrest. Now, but they do speak about this, and I'm going to do another video about, people calling out Ari and saying she's a scammer, because a lot of people went and dug into her real life. Now, I've always said that I am against that. And when I was watching her videos, from the beginning, I'm thinking to myself, why would people even think about digging into her personal life? Was it because she went viral and got so many subscribers, like, so quick? Why would they do that? Why, and that just, I don't know, because when you're a creator, and that's what she is now, she's a creator, right? Was it because she was, I don't know. I didn't see like a PayPal thing going across. Um, was it the way she looks? She's a very beautiful woman. Um, was it the way she talks? Was it because she had a job and she quit her job and said she was going to be a full-time YouTuber now because, you know, when someone says that, to us, we're thinking, okay, she is making enough money off of donations or people supporting her on YouTube. She's making enough that she can quit her full-time job living in California, right? Quit her full-time job and do YouTube. Now, I have my own ideas on what's going on with Ari here that I will get into in another video. But she is doing better than Leticia, who is pregnant. You would think Leticia, people would feel, more sorry for her because she seems to have more trauma. And like I said, she is a pregnant woman living in a vehicle. You would think she would have went more viral than Ari would have. I mean, that's just my opinion, but she hasn't. I mean, she grew her subs pretty quickly, but not like Ari. I mean, that's just, that blows my mind that she blew up like she did. It blew my mind that Leticia would. But a lot of people are watching a train wreck. They are. And they're there, some are just there kind of trolling, I would say, to find, and they really want to know what's going to happen with this baby. But with Ari, her videos really aren't that long. Leticia, she puts them out like I said, so many a day, over and over, the same stuff. But you would think people would be more interested to find out what is going to be the next step. Is she going to go into labor in the vehicle? Is she going to get arrested? With Ari, what's so interesting there to make her go viral like she did compared to Leticia? Because there's a lot of people covering Leticia right now too. So I'm just trying to figure out between the two. Is it because of Ari's looks? Is that it? Is it her upbeat personality? Is it because she isn't being vile? Because like I said, she gives that perky, offbeat personality. Was that her goal? Watching some of the other videos, maybe not just Leticia, but maybe some of the other videos that she's seen, was it her goal to, was it, and I'm just kind of thinking to myself, was it her goal to make it big out there in the YouTube land, to go viral and say, I have to do things differently. This is what I see people doing, and I have to give a different vibe out there to draw in the crowd. I don't want to be this depressed, homeless person. I want to show that I am a good person, that I'm going to be the one to, have this upbeat personality, and I'm going to be the one to want to help other homeless people. And I'm going to be the one that, even though I'm homeless, I'm going to keep a job. I still work, and I'm showing that I am going to support myself. And this is how you should do it. Maybe that's why she got more support from all around the world than someone like Leticia or other homeless people that are living in their vehicles, or, living in a tent. I don't know. These are the only two vloggers I have come across that are homeless and put themselves out there so far. So that's just kind of my thought on it. She might have took a different, after looking at some other people, she needed to take a different view on it and turn it a different way. And she's got that sweet voice, and she's got that certain look, and kind of that Hollywood look, right? And she is going to make that negative into a positive all the time, even when she's depressed. She's going to tell her sad story, but she's not going to tell it all. She's not going to really give all that information, because she's going to give you some of it so you know where she came from. But she's not going to give you all of it, because you don't need to know it all. You don't need to feel that bad for her, just bad enough that she had it hard, but she doesn't want to give too much information out. Not like Leticia, okay? Where Leticia even tells you when she uses the bathroom, how many times a day she uses it, right? So that's my thought, my mind frame is that she had to spin this a different way to be more famous, to take a go at it, to see how it was going to go for her. And she didn't know how it was going to go. Now, is it real? Is it real? Is she really living in her car? That's what a lot of people are wondering. Is she living in her car? I don't know. Nobody knows. A lot of things have came out about her past. Like I said, a lot of people dug in. I don't believe in digging in to a creator. And even if you're a vlogger, you're on YouTube, you're a creator. Unless you're being scammed. Okay? So is she scamming people? That's the thing here. Is she scamming? Is she asking for money? I haven't heard on the videos that I've watched, I have not heard her asking for money. Now, when you're a creator, people like your content, so they donate, right? They donate because they like what you're putting out there. But if you are given a false narrative, then is that scamming? Is that fraud? Well, yeah. If you're given a false narrative that you're this homeless person and all this stuff has happened to you when it really hasn't, then yeah, that, to me, that is fraud. So is it okay for people to dig in on a creator, on their real life, to find out who they are, what their past is, and to find out if they are scamming people out of money? Now, again, I would not go and dig on people. I'm just talking, I'll talk about what other people have found out, but I would never go dig on somebody. I mean, that's just not me. But, again, I don't know what to say to that, because she hasn't been up long, but there was a lot of people that I guess just felt there's something really off about this girl. We know now that Ari isn't her real name. It's Randy. Or Ronnie. I'm sorry, not Randy. I don't even know where that came from. But here's the thing. Do you have to put your real name out there on YouTube? A lot of people do not go by their real name. So that to me is not a big deal. That's not a big deal at all. Now, I haven't got to the video where she explains, I don't even know if she did, why she doesn't use that name. Now, she does talk about going to California from Arkansas to get away from an abusive ex. And some people say, well, she was not abused or she didn't have an abusive ex. That's one thing I have to say. You guys really don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Now, did she have an abusive ex? She could have. Don't know. You know, some people can argue that. Um, we don't know that. We don't. And, you know, I don't agree with pulling in family members or contacting, you know, the ex that has the child, her, you know, the child's father, or pulling it, you know, trying to get a hold of different family members or friends or whatever. I don't agree with that stuff, okay? They didn't ask to be brought into this YouTube crap. But I have not heard her yet really go into detail. Now, her last couple of videos, she has said, you know, some things have come to light about my past that I, you know, was going to talk about, but I haven't got there yet. Because I'm still new to this. You know, I just started my channel, you know, not too long ago, or I just started, you know, less than a month. That's kind of understandable. We have to look at this both ways, right? We do. She's still new. So we have to, you know, and she doesn't make really long videos. So we do have to look at it both ways. Would she have brought up her child and what happened? Maybe, maybe not. But is it, you know, does she have to? Does she have to bring up her past, her child at all? I've already talked about before in some of my videos that when a lot of creators, when they bring up their children or whatever, then people go digging. So we don't know if she would have brought up her child or brought up other things. But, I mean, again, is it anybody's business? But then she is a vlogger talking about her life. So how much does she need to put out there? I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm a little confused. Does a vlogger have to put out everything for everybody to be happy? That really floors me. It's like some people want to know every single detail about someone's life when they become a creator. But with this one, she is making, in my opinion, a lot of money because she quit her job. So some people feel like she is a fraud. Some people that donated, because I did see, you know, that they've asked for their money back because some things have come to light. We will talk about some of those things that have come to light because of the digging that people have done. So some of those things is she's got, you know, a criminal past, I guess, you know, with DUI, some speeding tickets, maybe not wearing a seatbelt, and we see her driving around without wearing a seatbelt, some too. There's court records out there about her child, okay, when her child was an infant. Her child was taken in with a skull fracture. And this is when her child was an infant. Her child is 9 years old now. And it looks like she was not with the father of her child at the time. She was with another man, I believe. And she waited, I believe, 10 days before she took this child in. And she claims that the child fell off of a small mattress, or a mattress that wasn't that far off the ground. And it's all in the paperwork, where the father of the child wanted to get custody. He wanted full custody, which he did win. And I guess when the baby was in the hospital, CPS was called. I guess there was a hold put on where nobody could see the baby while they were investigating this. They did not believe her story that she told them on what happened, but she was never charged with anything. That I don't understand. I don't understand. They said they didn't have enough proof, I guess, but when you have a baby with a skull fracture, and this baby wasn't that old, somebody did something. Okay. If a baby's not old enough to be, walking and crawling and stuff like that, something happened. But nobody was charged. And the father wasn't around because he worked, I believe, out of state or out of town. So he was not around at all to be able to do this. And the only other two people that were around her, I believe, were her parents, who are actually her grandparents. I believe they're the ones that raised her. Her mother was in and out of her life, as well as her father. She talks about that her father was never a part of her life until she was like 19. So she had a troubled, life as well. So anyways, nobody was charged with this baby's skull fracture. So we can't say for sure who did this to this baby. Was she with another man at the time? I do believe she was. Could he have been responsible? But she is his mother, right? She is responsible for this child. But in this paperwork, it also said by her grandfather, who I think that her grandparents adopted her, don't quote me on that she would be gone for days at a time, and they didn't know where she was at. So this baby would be left in their care. Now, I'm not making any accusations. I'm just saying that is what the paperwork said. So maybe it wasn't clear to them, who actually had this baby or whose care this baby was in, excluding the father, because the father was not in town or around the baby at the time. But maybe it wasn't clear to them whose care this baby was in. Clearly, this baby was injured, okay? But there was no charges. But the father did win sole custody, and she only got supervised visitation. And for some reason, she decides to move, I think last year. I don't know how the visitation went, okay? Now, I'm sorry, people are wanting to talk to the ex, the father of the baby, and I have my feelings on talking to an ex, because you're only going to get and hear bad things, okay, when you talk to an ex. They're an ex for a reason, right? So, I don't know. But in that paperwork also, the grandfather, which, her father, grandfather, stated that she was in and out of mental hospitals. It is stated on there. So, and that she attempted suicides. And she also says that herself in her videos. So there's some issues going on with her. But she leaves Arkansas, and she states that she was in an abusive relationship and she was afraid for her life. And her coworkers said that, you need to go, you need to leave before he does something to you. So she decides that she's going to go all the way out to California. Now, she said she was born in California, but was raised, in Arkansas by her grandparents. And she did not have contact with her father or his parents until she was 19. And they live in California. So she decided to go all the way out to California, and she said she really didn't know them. She didn't know them. So she left her child behind in Arkansas. Now, she has supervised visitation. Now, we don't know. We really don't know if she still does or if she was visiting her child regularly. We don't know if that supervised visitation has been lifted, because that was back when the baby was an infant. Could it have been lifted and she had regular visitation? Did she have, I don't know, partial custody? We don't know. We don't know. In that paperwork, she was ordered to pay child support. But what has she done in all the years, after, to try to regain custody of her child? I know as a mother, I would have, tried to prove my innocence. I would have tried to fight for at least, joint custody. To get my child, my infant back, my child. That would have been my first priority, right? First priority. But sometimes when you do have mental issues or whatever, and it's clear from the paperwork, well, I can't say clear. We only hear what the grandfather said. We're not seeing any proof. We see what she shows on her wrist and what she says about, attempting suicide. So we hear it from her mouth too. But we see what, in the paperwork, this baby was hurt. So clearly, in her care, in her parents, whatever, on that side of the family, I mean, she's still the mother. She's still absolutely 100% responsible for this baby. So she does, in my opinion, she doesn't, she's not doing what she needs to do as a mother in these years to be in this child's life or to stay in this child's life, because she takes off out of state. And we know for the last 7 months or maybe years, it's been a year, because she said that she stayed with her father and his parents for a few months. So she's been gone for a year, not seeing her child, who is 9 years old now. I could not imagine not seeing my child when they were growing up. I couldn't imagine. And being that far away from my 9-year-old child. Now, I get it, because I said it before, I'm a domestic violence survivor. So I get trying to get out of a situation and how dangerous it can be. I get all of that. But you have family and friends there and had a job in Arkansas, and you are going all the way to a different state to people that you claim were not a part of your life, and you didn't even really know. And she said some pretty awful things about her father's side of the family, and we'll get to that in a different video. But you're going all this way and you're leaving your child behind, not to have contact for over a year. That just, and you have no friends, no family, really. You're going to basically strangers. And not only that, but, and we're going to end it on this, because I know I'm kind of all over the place, because I'm trying to think. I'm trying to get into her mindset, right? Because you're a pretty girl. You're kind of, you're young still, and you're doing this traveling. I mean, you got to be really careful out there. And you're leaving your comfort zone, and you're leaving the most precious thing behind, when there's safe places, there's things that you can do to make sure that you're safe from your abuser, if that is what was happening, so that you can have the support of the people that actually care about you, and still keep your job and not be homeless, or not end up homeless. And I know she wasn't at that time, because she was with her father and her father's parents. But you're in a very expensive state too, one of the most expensive states, where the cost of living is really high and stuff like that. And she said she left all of her furniture, left all of her material possessions behind. And sometimes that happens when you leave a abusive situation. But you're also leaving your support system behind, if she had one. She did say she had co-workers. But was she really going to California for a different reason? That's what I'm wondering. Was it to go for a totally different reason? I don't know. Or was it to run from something? Something just isn't right about this whole situation. It just isn't. It just doesn't sit right with me. I mean, and now a lot of stuff is coming to light. Again, a lot of people dug in, and it's still, just like with Leticia, people are going to donate. They donate because they like their creator. But they're going to donate to her too, because they like her. And they like what she puts out there, or they might feel sorry for her, just like they do with Leticia. A lot of people know that Leticia absolutely is lying. Maybe in her mind, she thinks she's telling the truth, that she was AR'd because this man did not want a relationship with her. They did not. Or he didn't. That's pretty clear. She said, if you don't contact me within a week, she gave him a week after that, after they had the encounter. If you don't contact me, then I'm going, this is before she found out she was pregnant, I'm going down and I'm filing our charges against you. Because he asked her, what do you want from me? What do you want? And she put, a relationship? Question mark, question mark. That's what she wanted from a one-night stand. So something is really bizarre about this vlogger. And a lot of people have questions. Especially how she went viral so quick. And now she has quit her job. And she is going, she says she is doing YouTube full time. Now, as someone that is homeless, and, you are looking for housing, and, she said, hopefully she'll be able to, have a place to stay or whatever. You would think that she would keep that full-time job. I mean, again, she doesn't make long videos, or, it doesn't seem like it takes a lot of her time. She could really be banking in the money, right? keep that full-time job and still do YouTube in no time at all, she would have enough money. I mean, she was already looking at what, Mercedes van, excuse me. Or she could continue to live in a van or get a better vehicle or whatever and continue the, quote, van life. But I think she said she wanted to be in a vehicle or be in an apartment or a home. But then there goes the, quote, homeless videos. Then what would she have then? She would have to get a new gig going, right? So anyways, I'm going to end it on that. I know I was all over the place, but I had to really do a lot of thinking. This was a fly-by-night video. Like I said, I've watched a lot of her videos, and she seems like a very likable person. Very upbeat and very happy about her situation. So I'm going to do another video on her and watch some of the other videos that she's done. Like I said, she hasn't, they're not that long, and she hasn't done a ton of videos. So we'll just see how it goes and what she puts out there and how she explains about her child. Because she did say, yes, I do have a son, but she doesn't explain anything about that. And the last couple of videos, yes, people have, put things out there that I wasn't ready to talk about. So we'll just see what she has to say about it. And then I have a few more things that I wanted to say, and it just didn't come out. But we'll do another video and talk about it.